out here?
I thought you were out of bed.
I thought you had, Leo.
Couldn't you sleep?
No. My room is cold and damp. Only this hateful fog seems to be at home there.
I told you this island was no place for you.
My mother lived here.
And died here. Violently.
She lived here for your sake.
Gail, I don't blame you for resenting me. I hadn't realized the name Leo Granger was still headline news. I never imagined that the press would revive the whole dirty mess again. We did. I should have to remain isolated here for a long while. But that's no reason for you to stay buried on this forsaken island.
Leo, I don't hold you accountable for the position I find myself in. It's just that, for the present at least, I too would like to avoid the public. In fact, for a while, I'd like not to see anybody.
I'm afraid that won't be possible, Gail. If you insist on remaining here.
Why?
There are a few people I must see. Some, shall we say, associates.
You're going to let them come out here?
I'm going to invite them out here.
Surely you don't think they'd accept your invitation. They'd be afraid to.
I have an idea that their greed will outweigh their fear.
Their greed?
Yes. It was their greed that made them invest heavily with me, because they thought I could make more money for them than anyone else. And when my financial empire crashed, they were the first to cry swindler. If I can intimate to them, they will have a chance of sharing in that supposed loot. They'll respond to my invitation.
What was that?
I'm just knocking on my pipe, dear.
No, I meant that noise outside.
Sounded like the branch of a tree. Wind must be coming up. I'll go and see. What is it, Doc?
I thought you might put me up, Leo.
What do you want it for this time?
Oh, merely petty larceny. I had to eat. I couldn't get a job after serving my term with you. The newspapers printed our pictures again. Everybody recognized.
It won't be convenient to keep you here too long. I've invited some of our friends over for the weekend.
That crowd that sent us up?
How did you know that?
You were more confidential as my cellmate than as my employer.
And you were less of a menace behind prison bars than you were in my accountant's cage.
I have the same score to settle with that crowd that you have. I could be of help to you.
You might. Let's talk it over. Go to the small door under this balcony. It's open. Wait for me there.
Won't be too long.
I said wait for me there.
Leo, I've been thinking, I believe I've discovered why you failed in business. You surrounded yourself with the wrong people.
I didn't surround myself with them. Sylvia Jordan did.
How could she? Blackmail?
Practically. As my secretary, she knew a lot about my private affairs, which gave her a certain amount of influence. Then when I married your mother instead of her, Sylvia became vitriolic. She sold me out to her friends, Richfield, Kavanaugh, a whole double-crossing gang that railroaded me. I wouldn't have cared if they'd stopped at that, but they didn't. One of them, maybe the whole group indirectly, was responsible for the death of your mother.
Leo, what are you saying?
Oh, the circumstances surrounding the murder of your mother was obviously prearranged. Isn't it logical, Gail, that this group, having put me safely away in prison, should come back here to learn from Karma the whereabouts of the fortune I was supposed to have sorted away? Failing, they struck her down fatally. And they ransacked the place until they were disturbed by the launch returning with the servants.
But if any of them did murder Mother, do you think they'd risk coming back out here?
Now, don't forget, they didn't get what they came after.
I tell you, they won't accept.
Well, let's wait and see.
Emmeline Bronson, Psychic Research Laboratory. Alec Richfield. This is Emmeline. I was engrossed casting a horoscope. Otherwise, I would have known it was you wanting to contact me. You received an invitation? Wait a minute. Let me see. It's from Leo Granger, inviting you to a weekend at Fog Island. Just a minute. Furthermore, I can tell you the date. It's for the 16th. What? Well, of course my powers of divination haven't diminished.
What do you make of it, Emily?
Well, are you consulting me professionally as an astrologist or socially as a friend?
Well, I thought as a good friend of old standing.
In that case, I'd say Leo wanted something. Advice. As you may recall, he never went into any big ventures without first consulting me.
Yes. And you never advised him without first asking John Kavanaugh what to tell him.
Kavanaugh was very generous with me when I influenced Leo's transactions.
Yes. And your influence paid you well. However, I'm curious to know what you think Leo's up to.
Well, I, for one, am going out to Fog Island to find out. And you?
I don't know yet. I haven't decided.
Nevertheless, I'll probably see you out there amongst the others.
Just who would the others be?
Why, our own little crowd, of course. John Kavanaugh, Sylvia Jordan, and... Yes, that's right.
What does Leo Granger to say, John?
How do you know this is from Leo Granger?
As a private secretary for years, I might at least be expected to recognize his handwriting, don't you think?
Oh, of course.
Have you read between the lines?
Read what?
That I might see justice done?
Well?
Does it occur to you that Leo may have found out how you played up to Karma while he was out of the way?
I didn't. I always liked Karma. There was no point in avoiding her just because he got into trouble.
And there was no point, I suppose, in your chartering that boat all by yourself just to call on her at Fog Island.
Who said I chartered a boat?
The man who owned it.
He also admitted taking a veiled woman out to the island, alone.
I never wear veils. Besides, why should I want to see Karma?
To get information.
That needn't exclude you in Leo's mind as one of Alec's henchmen.
How do you know that?
I know Leo Granger. I know the way his mind works. He's a very suspicious and vindictive man.
How about Kingsley?
Emmeline Bronston. Yes, even you. Don't forget the damaging effect your testimony as his private secretary had on the case.
I'm not forgetting it. Nevertheless, I don't expect Leo ever to forgive me. Leo Granger will never forgive any one of us.
5 years in the penitentiary can do a lot to a man.
Not to Leo Granger.
You get one of these? The same?
Identically. And I dare say there's a half a dozen others floating around amongst our erstwhile associates.
Shall you go?
I think so.
You're not afraid?
Are you?
Well, not exactly afraid, but,
But what?
maybe intrigued. After all, he got away with quite a fortune. If he's going to pay off, I want to be there.
That's what I thought. And if you go, I'll go. And if we go, the others will go.
Will they?
There's safety in numbers.
How many are there?
From the sound of their voices, I'd say about 4 or 5. I can't tell through this fog.
Good. Oh, Allison,
Yes, sir.
the guests are here. Will you look after the luggage?
Very well, sir.
Well, how are you, Leo?
Quite fit, John, and you?
Never better.
No, Leo.
Now, Sylvia,
This is a curious place.
yes, strangely enough, it was built by pirates. But you shouldn't have any difficulty in finding your way around, John.
Thank you.
Nice to see you again, Sylvia, after all this time.
Thanks, Leo. You're looking well.
You know, penitentiaries aren't exactly a health resort. I wouldn't recommend them to my friends. There's a fire waiting.
Thank you. Leo. If it's any consolation to you, your water sign predicts satisfaction for you here.
What about you, Emmeline?
Me? Oh, don't you know a seer is never any good for herself?
That's a climb. Getting soft, Alec? Oh, not so you do, is it, Leo? Of course, cigars may have cut my wind a bit, but I still smoke them when I want them.
Something I was forced to give up, cigars.
You got those that I sent you?
Yes, I got them. They weren't my fancy. However, my cellmate enjoyed them and survived.
Lucky.
Hello, Mr. Granger. I'm Jeff Kingsley, son of Jefferson Kingsley, to whom you sent an invitation. Apparently, you didn't know Dad died a month ago.
Oh, no, I didn't. I'm sorry.
You don't mind, of course, my coming out here to see justice done?
Of course not. Come in.
Thank you.
Do you know all the others?
I introduced myself to them on the launch on the way out. Yes, I know everyone, including your stepdaughter, although I don't know that she remembers me from college. Hello.
Hello?
It's been a long time.
Yes.
Surprised?
Somewhat.
Would you like me to explain?
I don't think that's necessary.
You're not very glad to see me, are you?
Should I be?
Maybe not. Would it thaw you out any if I were to tell you I'm glad to see you?
Thanks.
I'm sure you're all wondering why I invited you here. So let's settle that question right now at the beginning. I invited you out here for, let me say, retribution. Now, retribution is an odd word. It can mean so many things. It could mean reward, the return of money you think I stole from you. It could mean giving you an opportunity of getting even with me, or with each other. It could mean revenge, seeking a life for a life. You see, you killed something very dear to me. It might have been friendship. It might have been my ideals. It might have been my wife. Perhaps you never knew it, but I happen to love Karma. She was more than just a wife to me. She was my ideal, my friend. Whichever one of you killed her will kill again and just as wantonly. So let me warn you, the innocent among you, to be wary of the murderer whenever he or she finds it necessary to strike again. And that, my dear friends, concludes the business of the evening. Now let's all be as sociable as we can. Oh, I omitted to mention that we have another house guest, Doc Lake. You all remember Doc Lake, I'm sure, my accountant who was sent up with me. Doc, our friends are having a little drink. Perhaps you'd care to join them.
Good evening. Yes. Since Leo puts it so delicately, I'd be delighted to have a drink. And renew old acquaintance.
Oh, by the way, I'm afraid I had to send the launch back to the mainland for some slight repairs. It'll be back in the morning, probably. In the meantime, I'm quite sure you'll find every convenience on this island, except, of course, the telephone. Dinner will be at 8:30. Many years ago, it was the custom of this household, when it was in the hands of pirates, to let a man eat his fill, then permit him to know his fate. I'm not so barbaric, of course. I'm merely following the old custom by giving each one of you a token favor, or clue, shall we say, to retribution.
Leo, what is this key?
Perhaps it's the key to your happiness, my dear. Oh, Kingsley, there is a superstition that the gift of a knife will cut friendship. I'm not superstitious, are you?
Not with this in my hand, I'm not.
I think I'll retire. I have been used to very early hours these last few years. Gail, I think our guests will enjoy a little music if you feel so disposed.
Anything special you would like?
No, anything you like. Preferably something favoring the woodwinds.
Why, the woodwinds, Leo.
I don't know, dear. There's something very plaintive about the music of oboes, flutes, clarinets, and something very enticing.
Mind if I join you?
And if I did?
I'd join you anyway.
You tried that before.
And miss.
And this time?
I'm your guest, remember?
Not mine. Leo Granger.
Would you mind telling me what this is all about?
What is all about?
This party or whatever it is.
Don't you know?
No,
Then why did you come?
I had my reasons.
I'm sure of that.
Good reason.
From your point of view,
All of which means you're not going to tell me?
that's right.
Which also means you don't trust me?
Right.
Odd favors Leo gives. Or do you understand yours?
Yours, Dr. Lake? I suspect Leo wants to keep track of you. Mine is really quite simple. Leo always said my pencils weren't practical. The eraser, of course, is one of Leo's little innuendos. I have a feeling Leo is not in his right mind. Have you felt that?
You understand, I hope, that I've never actually practiced the profession of medicine.
Nevertheless, that doesn't prevent you from hazarding a personal opinion.
Not necessarily. But as a student of the occult, perhaps you could hazard an opinion.
The sign, Pisces. Of course you know what his sign indicates. 2 fishes swimming in opposite direction and with Jupiter in the ascendant. I should not like to predict what would happen.
His health, never too sturdy, hasn't been aided by prolonged inactivity. I shouldn't like to hazard an opinion either.
You know, Doctor, I think you and I have something in common.
No? What's that, may I ask?
We've both been in Leo's confidence. I, from an astral point of view, have been in his spiritual confidence. And you, from a business point of view, have been in his financial confidence.
Oh.
So, possibly by pooling our information, we might work more or less together to our mutual advantage.
Clever of you to discern that. What's the matter?
There. John, do you know of any way we can get off this island?
There isn't any way. I asked the butler. Why?
I'm afraid.
Of what?
I don't know. But this to Leo always suggested death.
What to Leo might this suggest?
What is it?
Multiplication tables, 2 times 2, and so on.
It might be one of Leo's subtle warnings, insinuating you're not to attempt any more juggling of figures to your own satisfaction. But I get a feeling it goes deeper than that. Tables, skulls. An alligator.
Oh, I didn't see. He stuffed it in his pocket too fast.
Alec knows something. I wonder what that key is to.
What key?
One Gail got.
Why don't you find out?
I will when I get a chance.
Watch out for young Kingsley. I don't trust him.
Suppose you watch out for young Kingsley.
I will.
I didn't know you played so well.
Didn't you?
You know, there was a time I thought I knew pretty much about you.
Did you?
Remember the long walks in the rain? Horseback rides? Tennis? The time you beat me 6-3. The funny things you used to like. Your craving for red. Chocolate sundaes. Opal. They weren't your birthstones, were they? Oh, I thought not. They were always bringing you hard luck. Like the time we were going to the symphony together and you had on your new high-heeled red slippers. Your heel got caught in the grating. You know, it's a shame I couldn't get those nails to stay in. We went down the aisle together. You don't know how much trouble I had getting those tickets right in the third row just to show you off. Oh, I've still healed, by the way, but I don't suppose you'd have any use for it, would you?
I haven't any use for any heel.
No, I thought not. But will you ever forget our picnic down by the riverbank? With that great field of daisies by us, the weeping willows? Remember how ecstatic you were about the weeping willows? You know, you haven't done what Leo asked you to.
You mean the woodwind?
Yes, have you forgotten?
No.
I see. You weren't going to let me in on it, were you?
In on what? Oh, that. No.
Why not?
Suppose you find out if you think it's important.
Gail, is anything important to you?
Yes. Solitude.
Is for the look into the future. What do you say?
You want me to cast horoscopes?
Oh, no, nothing so individual. I meant something you would let us all in, like, seance.
Oh, a seance. Well, if you're all in accord, why don't you gather round the desk?
Good. We're ready for you, Emmeline. Of course, Emmeline, you'll want the lights out.
It would be better, of course.
I'll attend to that.
A heavy burden. So heavy it may submerge you. I don't know why it is, but I feel as if water was coming up over me. I feel the sensation of drowning.
Stop it, stop it. I don't want to hear any more.
Very well, then. It's strange, but I can't seem to reach you. You seem to bar the way. No. Bars are in the way.
We'll skip me for the moment. And for yourself, what do you see?
Myself? It's very difficult to see for myself. But I feel about to be elevated.
Somebody turn on the light.
I will.
Neat trick, that. Mind telling me how you did it?
It was no trick.
Where are you going?
I have an idea.
What about?
Gail's key.
Oh.
Seance over already, Emmeline?
Yes, Alec, I'm rather tired tonight.
Why did you turn in?
I think I will. I wonder if you'd get me a book, Alec. I'm tired, but not sleepy. I thought perhaps you might pick out something from Leo's shelf over there.
Don't you think you better select your own reading material, Emmeline?
You have such a good mind.
Oh, tut tut.
Would you be looking for any book in particular, Alec?
For Emmeline? Something light, of course.
Oh, yes. How about this?
What is it?
Crime and Punishment.
Ideal.
Thank you, Alec.
Say, it's getting late. Time we were all turning in. How about it, John? Ready to call it a night? We are.
I might as well.
Ready, Emily?
Doing out here?
I might ask you the same question.
It's cold in this fog.
The air's warm.
Mind telling me what you're running away from?
Am I running away?
Of course. First from all your friends by coming out to this desolate spot to live, and now from everyone inside.
What right have you to pry into my private affairs?
Maybe I like you.
You have a very peculiar way of showing it.
Well, I'm a very peculiar person.
Yes.
Maybe I like you more than you realize.
Really?
I realize you're just a little girl in a lot of trouble.
What trouble?
That I mean to find out.
Is that all you mean find out?
No, but that'll do for a starter.
And after that?
Gail, have I ever done anything to make you mistrust me?
You came out here with the others, didn't you?
Obviously.
Why?
To see you.
I don't believe you.
Gail, why don't you break down and be yourself? Why don't you let me help you?
There's only one way you can help me, and that is to leave me alone.
Now, look here, young lady. Don't try my patience too far. You might as well know once and for all I have no intention of leaving you alone.
Very well, then. I'll leave you alone.
Oh, I came in to borrow some cleansing cream.
Why, of course.
I'm not robbing you, am I?
No, I seldom use it.
Oh, but you should nightly, my dear.
Too much bother.
Nothing should be too much bother to protect your skin.
In this climate, one doesn't need to take the trouble.
But if you don't take the trouble to preserve your skin now while it's healthy, you'll regret it.
I'll chance that.
Already it shows the signs of neglect.
Ma? What an interesting room.
Mother didn't decorate it. These things were here when Leo bought the place.
Leo bought it. I thought Karma bought it for him.
Yes, sir. Just tidying up a bit, sir. As a butler? Or as an escaped lifer, Al Jenks? That's a lie. What, that you're an escaped lifer? I acted a bit phony as a butler when Granger wasn't around. I made some pretty wise contacts in the big house. Contacts that could find out a lot of things. I wrote a few letters. I'd some answers, came over with the mail for the guests tonight. Like this one. Hello, Doc's cooking. The eel you described with the scar across his left palm. Certainly, Al Jenks, the lifer who crashed out of here about a month ago. I thought you ought to know because...
Enjoying yourself, Doc?
Yes, I was just looking for you, Leo.
Indeed.
Guests seem a bit ill at ease.
That's a pity. I've given them the run of the house. What more could they have me do?
Give them enough rope, eh, Leo?
Something like that.
They're all wondering what you've got up your sleeve.
Including you, Doc.
Have you forgotten, Leo? I know what you've got in mind for them. Have you forgotten that time in Stir when I showed you how they framed the two of us and you blew your top? And that day when you learned your wife had been murdered. The day you really went stir crazy. Have you forgotten what you said to me that day?
Under the circumstances, no one could hold me accountable for what I said.
Couldn't they? And especially if what you said came to pass.
What did I say, Doc?
Plenty. And if it took your last dollar.
That's just exactly what it did.
What, take your last dollar? Oh, that's a good one.
That's a fact. However, if you prefer to believe others do that I have a fortune buried here, I can't prevent you. But you said you were looking for me. What for?
I thought you might like to know what your guests are doing.
I know pretty well what they're doing.
After all, there was nothing I could ever tell Karma that was encouraging. All I saw for her was trouble and worry and her tragic end.
You saw that? Oh, yes, quite clearly. And in detail. I saw her choking her into insensibility. That's a lie. It is? How do you know?
She wasn't choked to death. She was stabbed with a knife.
Perhaps you know for certain that she wasn't first strangled into unconsciousness.
You're making the whole thing up to give the impression you're clairvoyant. Unless you had something to do with her murder.
I had less to do with her murder than you had.
Why, you fraud, if you dare to... Come in.
Perhaps you ladies don't realize it, but your voice is when you get excited.
Thank you for stopping us, Alec.
And you're keeping this young lady from her rest.
You're very considerate, Mr. Richfield. I really would like to go to bed.
Of course, I merely thought I might...
Come along, Alec. It was your idea to leave Gail alone.
Something, Alec? Oh. My pipe cleaners. I thought I left them here.
I didn't know you smoked a pipe.
Oh, didn't you?
I've always been very interested in pipes. Do you mind if I have a look at yours?
Certainly. I must have left it in my room.
Doubtlessly. Have a cigar.
Thanks.
Light?
Thanks. You're not smoking?
Not at the moment.
Uh-huh. Very good cigar.
As you should know, Alec, I've always thought of my comforts, even managed to get a few where you sent me.
You're forgetting that having arranged for your defense, we got you off with 5 years instead of 25.
5 years was long enough for you to accomplish your purpose, Alec. 5 years as receiver for Granger Incorporated gave you ample time to liquidate my enterprises for your own advantage.
By the time you got through milking your enterprises, there was nothing left to liquidate.
So you came over here to the island to see what you could get out of karma.
I advise you to be careful of your accusations, Leo.
You're not fooling anybody now, Alec. There's no jury here, no judge, nor will there be any witnesses.
Does that constitute a threat,
Take
Leo?
it for what it's worth, Alec. I might have let you off had you been content merely with getting me out of the way for a while. But that you put karma out of the way permanently, for that, Alec...
Keep away, Leo.
You can't escape, Alec.
Oh, can't I?
So it was you who murdered karma. I thought so. I suspected you all along, but I wanted proof. I've got that proof now, Alec. Obviously, that was the way you struck her down. A sudden fuss in the dark, without warning, without giving her the slightest opportunity of defending herself. You very stupidly used the same technique, the same knife, no doubt. So you see now, Alec, that you're not as clever as you thought you were. You see now, don't you, that you played right into my hands. You see now, Alec, you convicted yourself, Alec. You've sealed your own doom. You've signed your own death.
Very interesting, Emily. Very interesting indeed. And a little amusing.
What is?
The fact that Leo should give you the key without the means of using it.
I don't know what you mean.
You know what that key opens?
No.
Or how to get to what it opens?
No.
I thought not. But I do. So it seems to me it might be wise for us, you and I, to pool our resources, shall I say, and split proceeds.
Equally?
Share and share alike.
I'll handle the key.
As you wish. Follow me. Since you have the key, the privilege is yours, mighty Emily.
What are you doing here, Kingsley?
I was just wondering what you were doing.
Oh, I don't think it would do you any good to find out.
You all right?
I am, but how about you, Jeff? How does your head feel?
Feels as though somebody had thrown the book at it.
It was a chair.
Oh, yeah, that phony doctor. I've got to find him.
Jeff, take it easy, please.
After the way he conked me,
But he's a dangerous criminal. He has a prison record.
he's got more than that coming to him. And I think I know where to find him.
Jeff, don't. Please. For my sake.
For your sake.
Yes, Jeff. Look, come on. You'd better sit down.
But, Gail, you don't seem to understand. I caught him going through the desk. Gail, do you have any idea what he was looking for?
Well, I think I know. Mother told me once. It's something about the top center drawer. Something in it or near it that exposes a secret hiding place for valuables.
Valuable.
Uh-huh.
Well, don't you think you ought to take a look and see if he got away with anything?
I have looked. I don't know how to operate it.
Let me try.
If what we're looking for is in here, we're splitting it 50-50. What makes you think
Well, that's very generous of you, John, seeing you think that gun is loaded.
Of course it's loaded. I loaded it myself before dinner.
You don't think I trust you around me with a loaded gun, do you?
You idiot! How did you know I wasn't going to give you his half?
Oh, I know you, John. Scout, the clue Leo gave me. You're right, Alec. What we're looking for must be hidden in here.
The table. The clue that Leo gave me.
This flat here,
Yes.
John, give me a hand with this paper. Now,
Oh, wait a minute. Let's have it understood now. We share it 3 ways.
let's make it 4 ways. Just for the sake of sociability.
What makes you imagine you're entitled to anything?
I know where the bodies are buried.
All right. Understood then. We split 4 ways. Now give me a hand.
Good box.
Wait.
Key to Gale got must be the one that opens it.
He doesn't have the sense to get it. Give it to me. I like it. No, manager.
Well, what is it? Read it.
Yes, read it. To whom it may concern, this represents all I ever stole from Granger Incorporated. The paper this is written on. Unfortunate investments did the rest. May I suggest you divide it equally among yourselves so that I may feel justice is done. Sincerely, Leo Granger. I don't believe it.
I do. It's just like Leo to have the last laugh. John, look! Look at the water!
Well, get out of here. There's no door now. Get that chisel, Alec. Here, let me try it. Oh.
Oh, that's a trick.
Oh, Jeff, look, there.
Where?
There.
Here, you hang on. Now, hold on. Hey, I'll bet the key Leo Granger gave you opens that box.
Mother's jewelry. Jeff, wait, listen to this. Gail, darling, this is all that's left of my inheritance. When Leo got into his financial difficulties, I gave him everything else I had to try to save him, but it went with the rest into unfortunate investments. Please don't blame him too much. He tried. But Gail, darling, leave this island as soon as you can. There's no good will ever come to anybody here. God bless you and try to be happy. Your loving mother.
Give me that.
Poor mother. She knew.
You mean she knew what you put yourself through needlessly, Gail?
Needlessly.
Yes. Don't think I haven't seen through you. Don't think I don't know why you ran away from us all. It was your wounded ego.
Ego? But, Jeff, every place I went, people looked at me accusingly. I knew what they were thinking. They were thinking she's Leo Granger's stepdaughter, and she'll come in for her share of his loot, too.
I knew what you were thinking, Gail, but you were wrong. Dead wrong. I'll bet you even thought that was the way I felt about you.
Of course.
And you thought I came out here with those cheap chiselers to grab off a hunk of loot.
Oh, I didn't know what to think, Jeff. I didn't want to, but how could I think otherwise? You came over with them.
Get away from this. Are you dirty rat? You didn't give a woman a break. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be in this. Well, I suppose this is all my fault. We should take someone that convicted him. John, help me! I can't swim.
What's that?
It's the launch coming back.
Your launch?
I recognize the motor.
How long will it take you to pack?
For what?
Well, you're carrying out your mother's wishes, aren't you? Remember, she said leave the island at once? And that's now.
No, but Jeff...
Don't argue. I'm taking you away from this place at once. Even if I have to kidnap you.
You won't have to kidnap me, Jeff.
Well, then hurry.
Jeff. I'm ready.
Let's get going.
Oh, but I'll have to find Leo and tell him I'm going. He isn't in his room.
I found Leo. He has no objection to your going.
Oh, but don't you think we ought to find out if any of the others want to come with us?
I found that out, too. They're not coming with us. Not this trip. I'll send the launch back to them later. There's sun on the mainland, Gail. That's what you need, Gail. Sun. More than anything else. Unless it's me.
I'll settle for both, Jeff.
Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow. Ah, good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow. Good night. Good night. No! Help! Help! Murder! Police! Help! Oh, Mr. Stevens! Peter! Help! 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 It's after me! Help! Help! Police! Help! Help! It's after me! Help! Oh, Mr. Stevens! Mr. Peter! Stevens! Mr. Stevens! Oh, help! Help! Police! Oh, help! Oh, help!
Well, Kitty, what is all this racket about?
Oh, Peters! Oh, Peters! I saw him! He's here in this house! He almost killed me! The gorilla! What was off when he got hold of me?
Quiet! You have been dreaming.
Oh, no.
What's that?
Oh, I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know anything. Call the police. Call Mr. Stevens. He'll kill somebody.
Quiet, can't you?
No, I can't. Still, he will all be murdered. Mr. Stevens! Mr. Stevens!
You calling me, Kitty?
Oh, Mr. Stevens! We'll all be murdered in our beds. It's that gorilla fellow the papers are so full of. The killer! He was just up in my room.
Oh, no, come, Kitty, you're hysterical.
Oh, no, sir, I ain't hysterical. I feel like I said, sir.
Now, Kitty, you're imagining things. Just you go back to bed.
That's what I said, sir. Only there is this.
It's a yes or no. What were you doing there?
Doing
Night.
I spent the night with Shakespeare.
Yeah? Where is he?
He's dead.
Dead?
A murder mystery. Have you any idea who did it?
Look, Shakespeare's been dead hundreds of years.
Hundreds. This is a fine time to call us in on the case.
Say, but she couldn't have done it.
How do you know?
She can't be hundreds of years old.
That's right. Mark that down, Garrity. Yeah, what do we do now, Chief? Well, you two have a look out there. I'll look here.
Yeah.
What's this?
That's a door. It leads to the back stairs.
Backstairs. Well, remind me to have a look up there sometime.
That's an ironing board.
Yes. That's an iron board. Look, do you want this thing?
Certainly we want it. What do you think we iron on?
Yeah, well, I see. Well, here, take it! Harrigan! Come in here! We found it. You found what? The mystery. Well, that's hash. Ain't that a mystery? Some pretty good tightly, Chief. I'll be the judge of that.
I'm afraid, gentlemen, you won't find the gorilla in there.
Why will we not find the gorilla in there? Now listen, you. Let that be a lesson to you.
Perhaps you gentlemen had better look outside for clues.
Maybe he killed Shakespeare. Mark that down, Garrity.
Yeah.
Look, how do you get out of here?
That's what I'd like to know.
And where's the back door?
In back of you.
In back of me. Oh. Oh. Back of me now.
Don't you recall that the paper said the gorilla always sends a warning to as many as half a dozen people at the same time to sort of throw the police off?
Maybe that's what he's doing now. Perhaps it's just a ruse.
Well, let's hope so. You know, it's wonderful how much more optimistic a good dinner can make one feel. Shall we have liqueurs in the study? Peter's alive, quickly!
Jack!
What is it? What happened?
Oh, Uncle Walter, are you hurt?
I know. No. I don't know what happened.
Look here. It seems to have been thrown in through that window.
Oh, Uncle Walter, what are we going to do?
The first thing we're going to do, or rather Jack is going to do, is to take you away from here.
Well, you're coming with us.
Ah! It's him! It's him!
Uncle Walter!
Who is it?
Oh, it's all right. It's one of those detectives. He could give me a turn.
Did you see that face? I'll bet when he gets drunk, snakes see him.
What's the matter with you scaring us half to death?
I'm just trying to let you know I'm not the gorilla.
This is my niece, Miss Denby, and her fiancé, Mr. Marsden. Harrigan, Mulligan, and Garrity. This matter seems to be much more serious than I thought. I've just received this from the gorilla.
A note. Who brought it?
No one brought it. It was thrown in through that window.
Through that window? Through that window. He's right.
Wait a minute.
This is my good ear. Oh, say, that's right. You can't kid us. We were outside patrolling the grounds.
What do you mean?
Why, that note couldn't have come through that window.
But why not?
Well, I'll just show you. Stand back, man. That's why.
But it was wrapped around a stone.
A stone. A stone? Well, why didn't you say so? Anyway, what do you know about this thing?
Well, I don't know anything about it. We were preparing to leave the room, and suddenly the lights went out, and then there was a crash, and...
Oh, so the lights went out. Make a note of that, Garrity.
Right.
You were outside a few minutes ago. Didn't you see anybody?
Nobody but us.
Say, this note says at midnight.
At midnight?
Yeah.
What time is it now? It's 10:30.
I got 11:10.
I got 11:30.
It's exactly 11:45.
Remind me to put some hands on this watch.
Yes. Well, make a note of that, Garrity.
Right.
Now, look, the gorilla's after Stevens. We'll have to keep an eye on him. Everybody into the study.
Come on, let's go.
Who said that if you give a criminal enough rope, he'll hang himself?
You, Chief.
Oh, that's where I heard it before. Come on. Now that you're all here, I don't want anybody to move. Understand?
Is it all right if I breathe?
Yes, but come right back. Quiet.
Personally, I don't believe the gorilla's coming here.
Neither do I.
Why not?
I'll give you 3 good reasons, pal. Harrigan, Mulligan, and Garrity.
It ain't enough.
Now, look here. I don't want to have your folks. Yeah, wait a minute. I'll handle this.
Yeah, but you're...
Now, listen,
You have received the gorilla's warning, Walter Stevens. You've just 5 minutes to live.
Oh, Uncle Walter. Jack.
Excuse me.
Here. Now, where are you going?
I'm getting out of here.
There's no door there.
Oh, that's all right. I'll make one. Goodbye.
Oh, get it over there. Quiet! Quiet, everybody! Did you hear that?
I wish I didn't.
He's up there, man! Where are you going? I said he's up there.
That's what I thought you said.
Oh, quiet. All right, man. Follow me. Stick him up. I got you covered.
What happened? What was it?
Nothing at all.
Hey, did you just pass here?
Yes. Yes, of course. I brought a trunk down from the attic.
A trunk?
Yes.
Were we here?
I couldn't say.
Well, maybe we're not here now.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's 2 minutes of 12. What about Uncle Walter?
Uncle Walter, yes. Uncle Walter, we're just going in. Now, everybody! Stay just where you are. Mulligan, you watch those doors. Gary, you watch that one. Mr. Stevens, you've got nothing to worry about.
I wish I thought so.
Me too.
You have 1 more minute, Walter Stevens.
stand it any longer. I can't. You've got to call the police. You've got to.
Mr. Stevens, I'm sorry, but Norma's right. I don't know what this is all about, but certainly if there's something to it, the police ought to know about it.
I no longer know what to think. Perhaps you'd better.
Hello? Hello? Oh, there's something wrong with
It's me!
Uncle Walter, he's gone.
Gone? How can he be gone when every door and window in this room has been locked? Mulligan, check those windows. Gary, check the door. How did you get in here?
Why, through this door, sir.
How can you when the doors are locked?
I beg your pardon, it was not locked.
I locked it myself. It is locked.
That leaves us deadlocked.
It would be impossible for me to walk through the woodwork.
Why? Termites do.
Oh, this isn't getting us anywhere.
Now leave everything to me. The gorilla ain't gonna make a monkey out of me. Now you. Come on, boys. Where do these stairs lead to?
To the bedrooms.
Mulligan, Gary, you have a look upstairs. Marsden, you come with me. We'll have a look around the grounds. You two look in the servants' wing.
With the gorilla prowling around, not me.
Well, all right, then come with me.
Oh, never mind. I'll take my chances with the other gorilla.
Wait a minute. We can't leave Miss Denby here alone.
Well, what are you waiting for?
I don't know, but I wish I could think of something.
Me too.
Oh, go on.
Don't worry, darling.
Oh, that's all right. I'll do all the worrying.
Marsden, come with me. Oh, you first, sir. Thank you very much.
Why couldn't this have all happened tomorrow?
What difference would that make?
Tomorrow's my day off.
Poor Uncle Walter. Right from under our very eyes. I don't understand how he got out of here.
All that's worrying me is how I'm going to get out of here. Oh, it's him! It's him! I seen him! It's the gorilla! I seen him!
What's up?
Oh, I seen him! It's the gorilla! I tell you, he's in that closet there!
Oh, Jack, I'm so frightened.
All right, come on out there, you. Get him, Mulligan.
You heard him, Garrity.
What did he say?
Are you sure it wasn't an hallucination?
Not unless an hallucination has hair on it.
Come on.
Now, ready?
Yeah, Jeff.
Oh, is he dead?
Who is he?
I never seen him before.
Do you know him?
No, sir, and this is no time for no introductions.
He's not dead.
Yeah, mark that down, too.
Right. Come on, darling. We're getting out of here. I'm afraid now, too, for you.
Yeah, I'm afraid not, too, for me.
Oh, Jack, it's horrible. I don't know what to make of it.
Now, all I can say, the gorilla's around here somewhere. And I know Mr. Stevens is around here somewhere. And if you all look, we'll find him somewhere. Where are you going?
Somewhere.
All right, men. Take him upstairs.
Come on, Garrity.
You, lead the way.
Oh. I'll take care of him. Kitty, get a basin of hot water.
Do you mind if I go out of town to get it?
You and I have a look around the house.
Wait a minute. There's something funny about this. Kitty said she saw the gorilla's arm. We open the closet and find the sailor's body. Now, how did the body get in there? And how did the gorilla get out without our seeing him?
That's just what I was about to ask you.
Stevens was sitting right here in this chair until the lights went out.
Gorilla. La la.
That's funny.
What's funny?
Nothing. I think I'll have a look around this house.
Have a look around the house? Yes, we'll have a look around the house. Yeah. I'll go, too.
Hey, that guy won't talk.
Why not?
He's still unconscious.
You're unconscious and you talk.
That's great, Chief.
Mark that down, Garrity.
Right.
What do we do now?
Well, first we'll have to reenact the crime.
Well, how do we do that?
Now, let's see. When the lights went out, Stevens was sitting in that chair.
Yeah.
You're Stevens. Sit down.
I'm Steve.
Mulligan, close the doors.
Hey, I'm Garrity.
You're Stevens. Now, sit down. I'll wait for lights. 1, 2, 3. It's no use. I don't know it works for Sherlock Holmes. I don't know why it don't work for me.
That's what I've been trying to tell you. He's gone.
Is he gone? Gone. Garrity! Garrity! Now we have two mysteries to solve.
Look, I've got an idea.
What is it?
If we can find out how Garrity disappeared, we'll find out what happened to Stevens.
It's a very good idea. Should have thought of that myself. All right, we'll reenact the crime. Sit down.
But I'm not tired.
You have to be tired to sit down?
I do.
You make me tired!
Well, then, why don't you sit down?
If I sit down, who's going to work the lights?
I never thought of that.
Yeah, well, sit down.
Yeah, sit down.
Sit down.
Yeah.
One, two, three. Mulligan! Whoa! Mulligan!
Did you lose something?
Yes, Mulligan and Garrity. Make a note of that. Now look, sit down.
Oh, I don't want to sit down.
You don't have to want to. You'll sit down and like it.
Well, all right, I'll sit down, but I won't like it.
Yep.
What are you going to do?
What I'm going to do ain't important.
Well, what am I going to do?
That's just what I want to find out. One, two, three.
Did I hear somebody scream?
Well, if you didn't, you ought to have your ears cleaned out. Say, where's Mr. Harrigan? The detective! He's disappeared!
Disappeared? What a pity.
Pity? Why, it's uncanny. How did you get in here? Why, you... Oh!
But don't be frightened. You're safe with me.
Safe with you, my eye. Who wants to be safe? Now, look, I'm very sociable. I want to go where there's people.
Hey, what's the matter? What's happened? Oh, look. I'm standing here. And all of a sudden, everything goes black. Next thing I know, I'm here.
That's funny. Hello. Hello, I'm sorry I kept you waiting. No, you turn on Willow Drive. Off Highway 22, and hurry, will you? Thank you.
Look, it ain't human, I tell you. It ain't human.
What isn't human?
For a guy to be standing here 1 minute, and the next minute, he's gone.
Who's gone?
I'm gone. They're gone. Everybody's gone. It don't make sense.
Certainly doesn't. Will you have a cigarette?
I don't mind if I do. He kidnaps me right from under his very eyes.
Who does?
The gorilla!
Hey. Who are you? What do you want?
What are you doing here?
Listen, old man, you got me all wrong. I just came in to use the telephone. You see, my car broke down.
That phone?
Yeah.
Look, that phone is out of order.
Is it?
Yes.
Number, please.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I'll be on my way.
Now, wait a minute, you. You're the guy we're looking for. You're the gorilla.
Surely you don't think I'm the gorilla, do you?
I stopped thinking 2 hours ago.
But you don't understand.
I don't have to understand.
Shall I try it?
Oh, you've tried enough. Now get him up.
Listen, you're making a big mistake.
Oh, well, it won't be the first time. you're coming. Help! Okay, shake him up. Shake him up. Oh. Oh, help! Help! Oh, help! Oh, help! Help! Oh. Help! Help! Help me!
What's the matter? What is it?
I got him, I tell you, I got him.
Got him where?
Yes, well, I did have him. Here, get me out of these. These are in my pocket. Get it right there. Oh, it was terrible. The gorilla.
How'd you get all tied up like this?
The gorilla, I tell you, it wasn't my fault. He came in and hit me. It was... Did I leave him in there? Oh.
Oh. Well, I'm Stevens. I'm Harry.
Here. Wait a minute. How'd you fellas get in there?
You tell me. What are you doing with those things on?
Oh, look. Fellow walks right in. It was the gorilla, I tell you.
Yeah?
He started to use that phone. But he didn't get very far. Not with me on the job.
Lucky thing for him, you had your handcuffs with you.
Well, where is he? Where'd he go?
Where is he? I'm the victim. How should I know? Look, boys, I'm telling you, he walked in. 6 of them. 6 big gorillas. They attacked me. Hit me right on my crow. Go, look at that lump.
Well, look at this lump. Look,
yes,
right
it's
there.
awful.
These windows are locked from the inside. You're not kidding.
Kidding? With the gorilla right under my nose and a $10,000 reward, he says I'm kidding.
Well, are you?
Who belongs to this?
What is it?
A coat.
Why, gorillas don't wear coats.
Sure they do. Fur coats.
Something screwy about all this.
Look, if there's anything screwy about this, it's me. It's me! But I'll soon find out. Each of you grab a wall.
What do we do with it?
Mulligan, you take that one. Marsden, you take that one. I'll take that one.
I'll set this one out.
You'll set nothing out. Grab a wall. I'll take it easy. All right, now tap, each one of you. See if you can find some trap doors. Oh, must be out there. Come on, men.
Right out here.
All right, cover the door, man.
What's the matter with all of you? Are you deaf? I've been pounding on that door for the last 10 minutes. Who are you?
That's right. Who are you?
Never mind who I am. I want to know where Walter Stevens is.
Oh, you want to know where Mr. Stevens is, huh? He wants to know where Walter Stevens is. Who do you think we're looking for?
I didn't come here to play games. I want to see Walter Stevens and want to see him right now.
But you don't understand. These gentlemen are detectives.
Detectives? Bah! What are you trying to pull on me? I talked to Stevens on the telephone last night. He told me he had a plan to pay his debt.
Plan?
Yes, said he'd only just started working on it.
But did he tell you what this plan is?
I wasn't interested. He was to square up with me here tonight. When I talked to him, he wanted a couple of days more to raise the money that he owes me. Now, where is he?
Well, Mr. Stevens has been kidnapped by the gorilla.
Kidnapped by poppycock. Now, look here. I don't know who any of you are, but I do know this. Walter Stevens owes me $250,000. And I'm going to collect it tonight, or else.
Oh, no, you don't, buddy. How do we know you're... Say, who are you anyway?
I'm one of Stevens' clients. I have proof that Stevens has been stealing from his clients' accounts for over a year. I gave him until tonight to return my money, and I'm not going to leave this house until I get it.
Yeah, but wait a minute.
I think he's mad.
Jack, if what that man says is true, I don't believe Uncle Walter could...
It's almost impossible to know what to believe, darling. Yet things are adding up. If your uncle did have a plan, if this business of sending for you was part of the plan,
Take her upstairs and keep an eye on her. This has gone far enough.
It's gone too far.
It's even gone further than that.
I'll be all right. It's just too much excitement for one night.
Get your hat and coat, darling. I'm going to see that you get to town if I have to push the car all the way myself.
I can't go till we find Uncle Walter.
We'll take care of that. We'll break this case, won't we, boys? Well, won't we?
Oh, sure we will, sure.
Like it was walnuts.
Yeah.
You know, I feel sorry for that poor girl.
Yeah? What about poor us? Strange men zooming in and out, animals running around like this was a zoo. Crazy goings on. I want to go home.
Oh, so you want to go home? I'm ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of you! Do you want to take a run-out powder and leave that girl here to take the blame alone? We're detectives, aren't we?
Are we?
Haven't we looked all over this house?
Yes.
No.
Where haven't we looked?
Well, if there's a cellar, we haven't looked there.
I'm glad I thought of that.
Say, this looks like a cellar.
What?
It's locked. Well, turn the key.
Oh, yes. Never thought of that. All right. Come on, then. Anybody down there?
Yes, we are.
I'll look for a switch.
It's around here somewhere.
All right, come on out of there, you. Come on, get out of there. All right, come on out of there. All right, come on out of there. Mulligan, where are you?
I'm right here, Chief.
Garrity, where are you?
Over here, Chief.
Is anybody with me?
No, you're alone.
Yeah. Awful.
Oh, Mulligan, Harrigan! Something bit me.
What? First time I saw a mousetrap catch a piece of cheese.
Harrigan! Garrity! Come here and get me out of this. Get me out of this thing.
What? Maybe you'd like a rattle.
Oh, come on, Jack, like a
What are you
baby.
doing? I want the idea to think about it, please.
Garrity! Harrigan! Garrity! Harrigan! Go away.
Now, don't worry, I'll handle this.
It's a pleasure.
Don't worry about it. Okay, buddy. Come on, bud. Get that raccoon coat off. Come on. Get that thing off. Look, when I hit you over the head with this thing... Well, we've been double-crossed.
Peters?
Yes, sir?
What's all that commotion?
Sounds like our friends, the detectives.
You stay here with Miss Denby. I'll go see what's up.
Cognac, Miss Denby?
No. No, thank you.
What's the matter? What's all the racket?
I got him, I tell you, I got him.
You got him? Got who?
Yes, the gorilla. He's in there. He's in there. I can hear him breathe.
That's you.
Oh, well, open it, open it.
Have you men been drinking?
No, but it's a good idea.
What was that?
Norma, where are you? Lights, where?
Jack?
A couple of you get after him, quick.
You heard him, Mulligan.
So did you.
Yeah, well, never mind that. You take the hall. I'll go this way.
I'll stay here.
Is something wrong?
Well, where were you?
I just went to get some tea, sir.
Didn't I tell you to stay here with Miss Denby?
I'm very sorry, sir, but I thought perhaps a little tea.
What right do you got to think? We're not even thinking.
Miss Denby might have been killed.
It's fortunate she wasn't, sir.
Why is it that something always happens when you're not here?
An unfortunate coincidence, sir.
What did you find?
An empty closet with Harrigan in it.
Harrigan, wake up. Get up. Wake up.
The gorilla. Did you get him? Did you get him?
No, he got you.
Well, it won't happen again. Okay, man. Follow me.
Okay.
Follow me. Get down and see where these stairs lead to.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Oh, me.
It's awful dark. I should have brought my glasses.
You never wear any glasses.
That's right, I forgot.
What's that funny tapping?
It's my knees.
It's a fine time to be scared.
You try and think of a better time.
Yeah, well...
I'll show this mug who's a mug. You fellas stick close behind me. If anything happens, leave it to me. I'll do all the talking. Come on, man. People running in here out of day, all day long. I've never seen anything like this in all my life. First, hey, where are you going? What's eating you? Hey, what have you got there? What? That dame must know something, or she wouldn't be running away like that. Make a note of that, Garrity.
Good evening.
Good evening. What do you want?
Don't be frightened.
Frightened? Who's frightened? Don't you come near me or I'll wrap this thing around your neck like it was a pretzel.
There's nothing to worry about.
That's what you think.
May I give you some advice?
No.
If I were you, I'd go to my room and stay there.
Oh, yes, sir. I was just planning on that.
Wait a minute. Where have you been?
No place. Honest, sir. I was just getting ready to go to town.
Good.
Ah, don't open that.
Why not?
The gorilla. He's in there.
Don't be silly. Come on, now. Get going.
Yes, sir. I'm practically there.
It ain't a man. It's a gorilla. We saw it and we felt it.
When I tell you the gorilla is a man, I ought to know. I've read enough about him.
But how could a monkey have possibly written those notes to Uncle Walter?
Maybe it's got an education.
Poe! 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 Where is he? Have any of you seen him?
Who?
Poe!
Who's Poe?
Poe's the gorilla.
The gorilla? Oh, you know him too, huh?
No, I trained him since he was that high.
You're just the one we're looking for.
Don't any of you understand? Poe is a gorilla, a trained gorilla.
A real gorilla?
Sure, a real gorilla.
So we don't know what we're talking about, eh?
Yeah, we know a monkey when we see one.
Listen, this is serious. Poe ain't no pet. There's no telling what he's liable to do when I ain't around. Especially with women. He hates women. Well, what's he doing here? What are you doing here?
We was hired to come here. We're working at the county fair. Yesterday, a guy comes along, says he wants me to bring Poe here. He says he's giving a party, wants us to put on a act.
Who hired you?
I don't know. I don't know nothing.
All I know is I bring Poe here, we're waiting out in the garage like he tells me, waiting to do our stuff. All of a sudden, somebody gives me a clunk over the head, and I wake up in a lady's boudoir.
But the gorilla, how did he get loose?
You're asking me. That's what I want to find out. Listen, this is serious. We got to find him. We got to. Somebody's liable to get killed.
Them notes from the gorilla. If I will get you 50, they were addressed to me.
Notes? Poe can't write no notes. Even I don't know how to write.
Now, look, the next time I buck up against that gorilla, I'm telling you, you'll never know.
He'll do it. Listen, have you seen him?
Yes, he's in the kitchen.
Which way is the kitchen?
Through the panel.
We'll go with you.
Listen, you fellas better wait here. There's no telling what that ape'll do.
Oh, Jack, I'm so confused. A real gorilla and those notes and...
Listen to me, everybody. The gorilla has done his work. Walter Stevens is dead. You will find his body in the garage.
Oh, Jack.
All right, everybody. Follow me to the garage.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
He's gone. Poe's gone.
I tell you, he's in the kitchen.
The kitchen's a wreck. He must be on a rampage.
Out of my way, brother. I got my own troubles to worry about. All right, all of you, out in the garage.
Come on.
I'll stay here and protect Miss Denby. This way, please.
I'll never forgive myself for not calling the police.
Why call the police with us around, lady?
You couldn't save Uncle Walter.
We couldn't, eh?
Well, you didn't, did you?
Well, that's right, we didn't. I gotta find out how that gorilla gets in and out of here. There must be a secret spring around here someplace. I think I'll look in back of these books.
Hey.
Don't tell me she's the gorilla.
I told you I didn't like her looks.
Oh, wise guy.
Come on, we gotta find the boss.
What do I do with them keys?
Look under the mat.
That's funny.
Oh, very funny. Will you get me out of here?
Listen, what are you doing in Poe's cage?
What do you think I'm doing? Waiting for someone to feed me peanuts? Get me out of here!
Don't you know Poe hates women?
So does Kipling. So what? Will you please get me out of here?
All right, don't get it.
Poe hates women.
Say, wait a minute. I think this was a trick to get us out of the house. Come on.
Who are you anyway?
I'm the gorilla's keeper. You the day give me a clunk on the head?
No, but it's a good idea.
Oh, yeah?
Look!
He's got her. Wait, don't go near him. He'll drop her. Poe! Bring it down, Poe. Bring it down to me. Down, Poe. Down to the ground. Put it down, Poe. Down, Poe. Down to the ground. Poe! Stop it, Poe. Bring it down, Poe. Bring it down to me. Put it down, Poe. Come on. Poe, come back here. Help me catch him.
Oh,
Thank you, thank you. Oh, he hit me again. Right here, he hit. Oh!
Oh! Let him alone. That's a fine way to treat me. After I give you the best years of my life, you act like that. Listen here. No kisses. He might have killed somebody.
What do you mean, might have?
It's all right, lady. I got him.
You can keep him.
Okay, scram and take this character with you. I was only kidding.
Just for that, he gets no C-A-N-D-Y.
Oh, that's just C-A-N-D-Y.
Sorry if I caused you any trouble, folks. And just for that, I don't lead you to funny papers tonight. Put you in bed without any supper, you bad boy. Oh. You wait till I get you home. You have to wait the last of this. Go on.
Look at that.
Why, it's somebody's coat.
All right, come on out of there, buddy. So that's how I got clunked on the head. Come on out of there, you. All right, come on.
Look, it's opening.
Well, come on, but... Oh, so it's you.
Do you know him?
Do I know him? He's the guy I caught using the telephone.
There's no law against that.
Never mind law, buddy. Get him up.
Now, just a minute. Don't you think you're a little premature?
Premature? Well, I can't remember that far back.
Just who are you?
I'm Detective Coletti, an investigator for the Securities and Exchange Commission. And I'm on the trail of the gorilla just as you are.
A detective?
How do we know that?
Yes, we... Well, what were you doing in there?
Investigating. I've been on this case for some weeks now, and I've discovered a little about the construction of this house that my good friend here don't seem to have found out yet.
What do you mean?
This house is a maze of secret panels. Now, undoubtedly, the voice of the gorilla came through that radio from someplace right in this house.
That means that if we find the wire leading away from the radio...
we'd at least find the gorilla's hideout.
Say, what's going on here?
What? Well, here it is. Here's the wire going right in here.
That's fine. Now, let's see. Just as I thought. Here's the wire. Now, by tracing this, I think we may find the answer to this entire riddle. The wire goes in here. Back of this wall is the man we want.
We'll make a note of that, Garrett.
Are you all armed?
Yes, I'm armed. Shh, quiet, you. Here it is.
There is your microphone, and as I expected, there is your gorilla.
Mr. Stevens, the gorilla?
Well, sure, I could have told you that all the time.
I guess the party is over, my gorilla friend.
But who tied him up like that?
I don't know. He figured the game was up and that this would throw off suspicion. This is a homemade job. A child could have done it.
It's preposterous. Don't believe him. I never saw this man before in my life. It's insane.
Oh, now what's that? Oh, why is it with all the men in the house they have to leave us here with you?
Quiet.
Oh. What? Why, it's Mr. Stevens.
Alias the gorilla.
The gorilla? Him? Oh, I'll never trust another man if I live to be 1,000. You can make that 2,000.
Uncle Walter, the gorilla. I don't believe it.
I think I can make it very clear.
Oh, sure we can.
Now, first of all,
What's that?
Oh, I didn't hear a thing.
Neither did I, but what was it?
we'll soon find out.
Hey, what is this? Who hit me? What's going on around here?
It's that man again.
Oh, there you are. Kidnapped. Kidnapped by the gorilla.
Not kidnapped by the gorilla, Mr.
Conway. A.P. Conway.
The AP stands for ape.
Mr. Conway, this gentleman is the gorilla.
The gorilla?
But if Uncle Walter's the gorilla, I don't understand why he should send himself those notes of warning.
For two reasons. To keep you here and to throw off suspicion from himself. Miss Denby, under the terms of your father's will, if anything were to happen to you, who would inherit your estate?
Uncle Walter.
My hunch was right. Your uncle brought you here tonight to kill you for your money.
Well, at least he had a reason.
So that's why he wouldn't let us call the police.
That's exactly why.
But what about these men, these private detectives?
They almost speak for themselves. Do you think if Stephen's life had actually been threatened, he would have called in 3 morons such as these for protection?
Morons? Hey, wait a minute. I resent that.
But I tell you, I saw the gorilla right there on that
closet. I saw his hand and his arm, and it was no optical confusion.
What you saw was this sleeve. Another ingenious little invention of Mr. Stevens.
It's a very cute little idea.
Well, that about clears the whole matter out. And since it stopped raining, I think I'd better go.
You're okay,
You're
buddy.
okay.
Yeah, he's all right.
Congratulations. Let me congratulate you. You were wonderful. Please. Oh, no, you don't, buddy. Okay, folks. Say howdy to the gorilla.
Howdy.
All right, give out, or this moron is going to blow your brains out.
Well, you see, it was all that.
Oh!
Now, all of you stick your hands up. I'm the gorilla, all right. But the cops haven't been able to get me, so don't you half-wits get any crazy notions. And as for Mr. Stevens, he's just as crooked as I told you he was. The trouble with him is he talks too much and too loud. I got tipped off on what was going to happen here tonight. How he was going to pretend to be me. I was going to get the $250,000 and at the same time let him get the blame for all the gorilla murders. Well, you better be careful. I'm a little nervous tonight.
Drop that gun, and I advise you not to move.
Hello. Police station, quickly.
What is this? I thought the phone was out of order. Maybe he paid his bill.
Hello? This is Walter Stevens speaking. Send a squad car to my house. We've got the gorilla.
Things are so mixed up around here that even the gorilla doesn't know who the gorilla is.
He's the gorilla. He's the gorilla. Do I know what I'm doing?
Look, what's going on here?
Don't look so sad, darling. Your uncle isn't a crook, and our estate's all safe and sound now.
You know, you never can tell. This is liable to wind up to be a mystery.
You see, the gorilla murders were threatening to bankrupt our insurance company. Most of the victims were clients of ours. So Conway, our special investigator, cooked up his little scheme to trap the killer. I'm sorry I had to frighten you, dear. And you too, Kitty.
Oh, I wasn't frightened. I was numb.
You fellas are certainly great detectives.
Oh, yes. We could have told you that.
Did you know that Coletti was the gorilla all along?
Sure we did.
No, we didn't.
Huh? When did you find out he was the gorilla?
When I shook hands with him.
I don't get you.
Well, you see, I was a window trimmer in a department store. And I ought to know a phony feel when I feel one.
We'll never be able to thank you, Mr. Harrigan.
Oh, well, that's all right. I understand you two are getting married soon.
Well, if you call tomorrow soon.
Well, remember, if you have any trouble with her, our specialty is following wives. You know where to send the check, and be sure it's certified.
From a Confederate bank.
Bye.
But how else can we explain these terrible deaths? Von Else last night, 5 others before him. That's 6 within as many weeks, Inspector. Our friends, neighbors that we'd known for years, drained of their life's blood, found dead in bed, lifeless skeletons of skin and bone. Vampires are at large, I tell you, vampires.
Malignant demons who issue forth from their graves in the dead of night to attack their victims and drink the blood from their veins.
Brrr. Gotten him of Red Schneider, don't jest.
Ah, that blood-sucking legend belongs in the same category with werewolves and all other peasant superstitions.
But the bats, man. The bats. God, yes. Big ones, so.
Oh, now we're switching to bats again.
There was an epidemic of giant bats in Kleinschloss in 1643. And at the same time, there was an outbreak of vampirism.
Rot.
Why, this record from the town archive proves it.
Says it, not proves it.
Well, I'll show you. I'll show you. Now, here it is. And on this day was von Hausmann hanged from a gibbet in the public square after being convicted on a proven charge of vampirism. And on this same day, there did occur the departure of the bats. Thousands of horrible flying creatures which infested the town for weeks. And on the night of this same day, February 13, in the year of our Lord, 1643, was there a stake driven through von Hausmann's heart and his head cut off with a grave digger's shovel. There.
Well, all the records in the world can't make me believe in vampires. There are blood-sucking bats, yes. In South America, thousands of miles from here, but not in Kleinschloss.
But bats fly. They could fly here. You saw the bodies. All of them. 2 wounds on the neck, right at the jugular vein. 2 wounds on the neck, pierced and spread apart just as if 2 fang-like teeth had bitten through the flesh and right into the veins. And in every case, a blood clot, 8 inches from the victim's neck. The mark of the feast, the devil's signature.
Does that appear the mark of a human being or a demon's?
God save us, the devil's.
You ought to make a pretty fair meal for a vampire. But let's be consistent. Are these human vampires or bats?
Vampires can take the shape of a human or a bat, just as they choose.
Oh, they're magicians. Well, it doesn't make sense to me.
The whole village is in terror. We live in closed houses, behind locked doors and bolted shutters, not daring to close our eyes, fearful lest this unseen silent death may find us in our sleep, for it is then that it strikes, swiftly, silently, ghastly. My room is tightly closed. The windows are barred, nailed down. Nothing can get in. Nothing.
But they tell me vampires can go through stone walls like that.
God save me, so they can. We've got to do something, I tell you. Kleinschloss will become a deserted village.
Well, you might catch all the bats and drown them in the river.
Carl!
While you're hunting for vampires and chasing bats, I'm looking for a human being. A murderer, a fiend.
Well, then don't jest about it. Do something.
I'm trying to. Every hour, every day, every night since this thing started.
Do you hear it? Hear it? Yes. Night after night. Lying awake until dawn. Waiting.
For what?
I don't know.
That's what I thought. Good night, gentlemen. Don't let the vampires get you. Are your kisses dynamite?
Don't you like my kisses?
Well, how's my mastermind this evening?
Well, if you want the truth, not so good.
The Burgermeister and his Grand Council still stick to the vampire theory.
Stick to it. Huh. They're quoting history to prove it. I think you and Dr. von Niemann are the only sane people left in the village.
And you? What about you?
Me? Well, I'm beginning to think I'm 7 different kinds of a fool. Murders are being done under my very nose. I must be as blind as the bats themselves. I can't find a single clue.
Oh, but you will, Carl. You will.
Well, I haven't.
Oh, Ruth!
And here comes dear Aunt Gussie to spread good cheer and hope.
Just what I thought. Slaving your life away in this awful place. It hasn't got that nice, clean, wholesome smell of a hospital. How are you, Carl?
Oh, quite well, thank you.
Well, I'm not. This clammy old place is bound to give me pericarditis, enterocolitis, neuritis, well, anyway, rheumatism. You have some coffee?
No, thank you, Frau Schnappmann.
No, it's just as well. There's only 2 cups. Here, dear. That'll take the chill out of your bones.
Thank you.
Speaking of chills, Frau Schnappmann, did you know the village is supposed to be infested with ghouls and vampires?
Oh, Carl.
Vampires. Pariahs among fiends. Demoniacal creatures with huge canine teeth who bite deeply into the necks of their victims to quaff and gorge on blood. Warm human blood.
There's no such thing as a vampire, Carl Brett Snyder. I don't believe in it. You're just saying that to frighten me. And I just won't be frightened. I'm entirely too sensible to believe in such rubbish.
I beg pardon.
Oh, so it's you.
I'm sorry if I frightened you.
Who said you frightened me? I'm not afraid of anything.
Could you tell me where Dr. von Niemann is?
We drove to the village to see Martha, the old apple woman.
Thank you.
Is this what Dr. Haupt prescribed?
Yes, sir. She takes it in water.
Well, continue giving it to her.
Yes, sir.
It's stifling in here. Open these windows.
Yes, sir.
Herman open windows. Me do. Me do.
Well, she'll sleep well now, poor soul. It won't be necessary for you to stay here. A good night's sleep will work wonders for her.
It was kind of you to come, Doctor.
Oh. Martha has sold me apples for many years. Always a good, ripe, juicy one.
Martha, give me apples. I like.
Oh, Josephine. Oh, Margaret.
She wants her cross.
Herman, get. Herman, get. Here. Here. Now, there. For Martha. There. Oh.
She won't let it out of her sight.
A terrible experience. To be attacked by a giant bat is enough to shatter anyone's nerves.
She talks about it all the time. How it flew in her face and tried to sink its teeth in her throat.
No. Bats no do. They soft. Like cat. They not bite Herman.
Be quiet, Herman. See what you've done.
There, Martha, there. She'll be all right. If she isn't, let me know.
Thank you for coming, Doctor.
That's all right. Good night.
Good night. Run along, Herman. You can see Martha tomorrow.
Oh.
Ah, Dr. von Niemann.
Ah, Kringen, how are you?
Much better, thank you kindly, sir, since you prescribed for me.
That's right.
Go to bed, Herman. Go to bed. You shouldn't be prowling around the streets. Dangerous. Oh, I'm afraid.
Afraid? Afraid of what, Kringen?
The bats, sir. Big giant bats with wings like an eagle's.
You saw this bat, you say?
I saw it swooping down the street. It came directly for my throat, sir.
When was this, Kringen?
Last night when they came to take Von Els. It was a big monstrous thing. I saw it leap across the alley and into a window. I ran just as fast as my legs could carry me.
You said nothing about this?
There's enough fear in the village already. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. I will. I'll tell the Burgermeister.
Yes, Kringen. That's the thing to do.
No. Bats good. They not hurt Herman. He plays with them. You no tell. No. No. Go to bed, Herman. Go on, go to bed.
You say he plays with bats?
His garret is filled with them. He makes pets of them.
That's odd. Very odd.
Maybe he's it. Herman prowls around the streets all hours of the night, just like an animal. Maybe he's the vampire.
Now, don't start any gossip about that, Kringen. Heaven only knows where it might end. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Now, soft, nice. There.
See? What did I tell you?
Perhaps there's something in what Kringen says.
Seems strange that a human being should want to play with bats.
He isn't human, I tell you. He's in league with the devil.
Put it on. Put it on. There. Thanks. Now go to sleep. You'll be all right in a few days. The doctor says so. Close the window. Close the window. I'm afraid. The vampire. Well, he said leave them open, but I'd have them closed. You want the light? Leave the light. I'm afraid. Well, I can't blame you for that either. I'll turn it down a little. Good night. If you want me, just pound on the floor. I'll hear you. All right. Good night. Good night, Martha. Oh.
Herr Brett Schneider is here to see you, sir. He's in the laboratory with Miss Burton.
Oh, thank you. Ah, here you are.
Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening, Ruth. How are you, Carl?
Well, I'd feel a lot better if I could find a solution to these murders.
You don't believe in this vampire theory, then?
Of course not. Do you?
There are many strange happenings, my boy. Many mysteries beyond the power of the human mind to comprehend.
Have you a theory which might explain these deaths?
Well, I'll be pleased to discuss it with you, but not now, not now. I have some very important work to do.
Well, tomorrow, then.
Tomorrow? Yes, perhaps. We'll see. Oh, this isn't so important, Miss Betty, that you can't let it go till tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Doctor. Oh, how about Martha?
Huh? Oh, nothing serious. Just a case of nerves, that's all. Good night.
Good night,
Doctor.
Good night, Carl.
Name?
Martha Muller.
Age?
I don't know.
Cause of death?
Like all the rest.
The vampire.
Yes, that's so. When I said I was going to tell you, his eyes glowed up like coals of fire. His hand reached out towards me, as if he were going to sink it into my throat.
And weigh this well. He never works and never begs, and yet he appears well-fed always.
That's so, he does.
Well, what does he live on, then? I'll wager it's as Kringen says.
And my woman was in Martha's room tonight when Herman put a flower in her hand.
Strange business, if you ask me. Mighty strange.
I hate to be in your shoes, Kringen.
Yes, after what happened tonight, I'd lock myself in my room and pray God to protect me from the devil.
Good evening, Doctor. Good evening. Dr. von Niemann. Doctor.
Vampire.
Well, what do you make of it, Doctor?
Are these two wounds similar to those found on the other bodies?
Dr. Haupt can answer that for you, sir.
Yes, they were the same in every case.
This is a strange condition, Carl. So strange that I doubt the evidence of my eyes. What was your conclusion, Haupt?
I diagnosed the wounds as having been made by needle-sharp teeth. Punctures are clean cut, penetrating into, but not beyond, the jugular vein.
Do you mean to say that you also believe they could have been made by teeth?
Frankly, I do.
Ah, you see, Brett Schneider?
What kind of teeth, Doctor?
An animal of some sort. It's hard to say. The fangs of a wolf, perhaps.
A werewolf.
Could they have been made by, well, a bat, for instance?
A certain species, yes. There are vampire bats. Dr. William Jamison, who explored many of the tributaries of the upper Amazon, states that blood-sucking bats do exist. He further asserts that the victims often become blood drinkers themselves, citing a case in which he saw a native tortured to death in an anthill by his tribe brothers. They swore he had become a human bat, and, states Jamison, he confessed it.
Do you mean to say that such a thing as a human vampire is possible?
Who can say? Historic records would have us believe that an evil soul, assuming there is such, can take any shape it pleases.
So why not into that of a human being? Eh, Carl?
Why not?
Have you any literature on the subject, Doctor?
Yes, I have many interesting volumes on my shelves that might prove very enlightening. I'll be glad to show them to you.
I don't mind admitting that I'm up a tree. Stumped.
Well, we'll see what can be done, my boy.
No, Herman. This is no place for you. Go away, my boy. Go away.
Good night, John.
Good night, Doctor.
Good night, Haupt.
Good night, Doctor.
In the morning, Carl.
Thank you, Doctor. I'm sorry to have dragged you out at such an ungodly hour.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. A child fleeing in horror from the sight of death.
There goes the vampire. Arrest him. Lock him up. Kill him.
Has the entire village gone mad? Herman wouldn't harm a baby, and you know it.
I've walked the streets of this village for over 40 years, but tonight's the end. He knows that I've told he plays with bats.
He knows that I saw him sneak into Martha's house just before midnight.
Perhaps he was taking her another flower, Kringle. The boy brought her one this evening while I was there.
He killed her just like he did all the rest. And now he's gonna kill me. Unless he's killed in a stake driven through his heart, I'm a doomed man. He'll kill me. He'll kill me. I'm doomed. He'll kill me. He'll kill me. I'm a doomed man. He'll kill me.
Good morning, Mr. Brett Schneider. What brings you to Kleinschloss so early?
You.
Fibber, I heard the doctor tell Georgiana he expected you.
I knew there was something else.
You're a delightful prevaricator, Carl, but not a very convincing one.
You don't mind me using your stethoscope, do you, Doctor?
Not at all, Frau Schnappen. But what seems to be the ailment this morning?
What's that? Oh.
What seems to be the ailment this morning?
Well, Doctor, I am positive that I have valvular leakage of the aorta. Or maybe it's the right ventricle. There is something wrong with my heart. I can hear it beat, thump, 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 just like the book says.
Well, if you didn't hear it beating thump, 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 just as the book says, I would say there is something wrong.
What? Without a moon?
You have a heart of stone.
All right, then. Close your eyes. No.
Oh, so, young lady.
It's too early in the morning, Carl. Much too early.
Oh, is it?
Oh, there's Aunt Gussie.
She would show up just at a time like this.
Well, Aunt Gussie, what's the matter now?
I have palpitation of the auricular, ventricular, and microvalves with a cardiac tendency.
You mean your heart's beating?
Of course it's beating. Dr. Von Neelen tried to assure me, but I know it's serious. I'm liable to go just like that.
Did he prescribe for you, dear?
Yes, monacid ester, salicylic acid.
You mean salicylic acid, don't
Well,
you?
salicylic, it's helped me. My heart is much quieter. Hello, Carl.
Hello.
Oh, Carl, you'll be good to her when I'm gone, won't you?
Yes, of course I will, Frau Schnappmann.
Well, I'm not gone yet. You can't marry her unless I say so. Don't forget that. Oh, my heart.
There, Auntie, you'll be all right. Just rest a while. What you need is...
What?
Rest, dear. Quiet. And Gussie has a heart like a steam engine. Carl.
Don't you know it's wrong to steal? You've cut yourself.
See? Blood.
Yes. Stop it, stop it.
No hurt me. No hurt.
Oh, you poor thing. Now, you wait right here, and I'll run in the house and get something for that finger. A subcutaneous wound like that might easily result in a tetanus infection.
Tetanus.
Tetanus. Lockjaw. Not that you need be afraid. From the way you talk, I think you've got it already. Look, here's a nice juicy apple for you.
Ah, this is it. Traits sur les apparitions des esprits et sur les vampires by Augustin Dom Calame in 1746. Let us suppose that these corpses do not actually stir from their tombs, that only the ghosts or spirits appear to the living. Wherefore do these phantoms present themselves, and what is it that energizes them? Is it actually the soul of the dead man which has not yet departed to its final destination?
Fiddlesticks. Now, how could a corpse buried under 4 or 5 feet of earth get out to do any such foolishness? I don't believe it.
It's a fair question, Doctor. How could it?
Well, according to accepted theory, the vampire dematerializes its body and reintegrates it outside the grave.
It's a good explanation, if you can believe it. And while I'm standing here listening to all this rubbish, there's a poor man in the garden in danger of a tetanus infection. Now, what should I do for him, Doctor? Shall I apply mercurochrome or 2% solution of bichloride?
Well, either will do. Get some gauze and some mercurochrome.
Thank you, Doctor. I'll wait here.
Difficult to believe, isn't it?
It's impossible to believe. And yet, it would explain these deaths, wouldn't it?
Ah, Brett Schneider. Pardon our intrusion, Dr. von Niemann, but after what you saw last night, you'll be interested in this as well.
Well, what's happened?
Gringen was found dead an hour ago, with the 2 punctures in his neck and not a drop of blood in his body. And what's more, Herman Gleib has disappeared.
What?
Now are you convinced that we were right and you were wrong?
That'd be proof enough for anybody. Gringen said Herman would get him, and he did.
Well, Brett Schneider?
I appoint you my deputy. Organize a searching party and comb this countryside from one end to the other. Find Herman Gleib and bring him in, but don't harm him. Do you understand?
What good will that do? He's the vampire. There's only one thing for us to do when we find him. Kill him and drive a stake through his
Herman
heart.
Gleib will be tried by a court of law. If the charge against him is proven true, the law will decide what to do with him, not you. Now get your men together and do as I tell you.
That's the way to talk.
I'm going into town for a little while, Doctor. Would you care to come along?
Oh, I hardly believe so. There's little to be done until they find the boy. If you need me then,
All right, thanks. I'll let you know.
I feel as though I was going to faint. Oh, there, Auntie. There's nothing here to be afraid of. Here comes Emil with your mercurochrome and bandages. Run along now and take care of that patient of yours.
Oh, heavens, I forgot all about him. Oh, my heart. Oh.
Poor Auntie. She's had every ailment in the book.
And a lot that aren't, I'm afraid.
Particularly a palpitation of the auriculoventricular, tricuspid, and mitral valves, Doctor.
Well, I had to tell her something to satisfy her.
Here, you mustn't do that. Now, where's that finger?
You good like Martha. She give me apples. Herman like you.
Are you Herman?
Me, Herman. You give me apple? Herman give you nice, soft bat.
What is it, Georgiana?
I just found this in Emil's room.
Well,
It belonged to my friend, Martha Mueller.
are you certain?
I gave it to her myself. Martha died last night. I find her crucifix in Emil's room. Doesn't that mean Emil is the one Herr Brettschneider is seeking?
This amazes me, Georgiana. It's impossible.
It rained the night Von Elst died. There was mud on Emil's shoes the next morning.
Have you mentioned this to anyone?
I intend to tell Herr Brettschneider when he calls again.
Can't believe it. Leave this with me. I want to talk to Emil before you say anything to anyone.
The Burgermeister should know at once.
Yes, all in good time. Emil has been with me too long for us to jump to conclusions. Don't say anything until I tell you, and send Emil to me.
Very well, Doctor.
That's for the neuritis. And the pepsin, that Hassenpfeffer was tougher than shoe leather. And sweet spirits of nitre, that'll help, at least won't do any harm. And ginger, that'll warm my stomach. And now, a little pipe out of soda.
Herman, you're going back to the village with us. Come on. We won't hurt you.
No, won't go. Herman afraid.
Come on. You're going with us, Herman.
No.
You're going with us.
No.
Come on.
No.
Come on. Get him. Come on, Herman. We won't hurt you. Come on.
No.
Come, that settles him.
Yes, let's go. We can
Hey.
go down below.
We've got to make certain. I won't go down there. Nobody asked you to. I'll go myself. Can you see him? He's on a ledge about 50 feet down. I'll get a rope. We've got to make certain, I tell you.
You must be careful, Emil. Very careful. No. It must be. It must be. She's no better than the rest. I've got to go on.
Oh, it's you, Doctor. Good evening. I'm sorry to have to disturb you, Doctor, but we simply couldn't make Georgiana hear the bell.
That's quite all right, my dear. Georgiana's becoming careless. Very careless.
Yes, I've noticed that, too. In my opinion, she has Nagana. That's sleeping sickness. You know the symptoms, Doctor. At first, I thought it was creeping paralysis, so I stuck a pin in her leg to see, and there was a splendid reaction of the reflex motor nerve.
Why, Auntie.
You're shocked. So was she.
Won't you join me in some coffee? Yes, thanks, Doctor. We will. There are a few questions I'd like to ask you about.
About blood and murders and vampires, I suppose.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Oh, so am I. Well, good night. If such a thing is possible, I'm going to bed.
Won't you join us too, Frau Schnappmann?
Coffee at this hour of the night? No, thank you. I'm going to stick to my monacid ester salicylic salad. Acid, Doctor, acid. Good night.
What's the news in the village, Carl? Have they located Herman yet?
No, not a trace of him. I hate to think of that poor misfit being hunted down like a dog. Do you know, I simply can't bring myself to believe in that vampire theory.
Will you pour, Ruth?
Certainly.
I know, Carl. Our saner, calmer judgment tells us that such things can't be, and yet, here, for instance, in this ponderous tome, are cited 1,001 phobias and complexes that human beings are heir to. Some of them are strange, more untenable even than werewolves and vampires. Could I have some more, please?
You drink entirely too much coffee.
Well, that's my one weakness. And also my excuse for tolerating Georgiana's laxity and other things. She does know how to make good coffee. Thank you. She brings it to me every night at exactly 10 o'clock. And when I've drunk it all, then I know it's time to quit.
Yes,
and eat breakfast so you can have more coffee.
Oh.
Georgiana, you mustn't lie like that. You'll get yourself a jar of coolers. No, stiff neck. Georgiana.
That was Auntie. Auntie!
Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right now. Oh, it's just
Amy, help Frau snap into her room.
my silly imagination. I imagined I saw Georgia.
The same 2 wounds, Doctor.
And my last words to her were angry ones. A petulant reprimand for being late with my coffee.
What time is that?
About 2 or 3 minutes after 10.
She's been dead then about 45 minutes. Bloodless like the rest. It passes all belief. Ruth's aunt saw Herman Gleib in the garden this morning. Could it be that he... You were the first one here. What happened?
I was in my room reading. My door was open. I must have dozed off for a minute or so because I awoke to hear Frau Schnappmann scream.
You say your door was open?
Yes, my room is very poorly ventilated.
And you saw nothing? Heard nothing unusual?
Nothing.
Carl, what is it? This crucifix belonged to Martha. See who it is, Emil.
Can you positively identify this as belonging to Martha?
Without a doubt. I saw it in her room the night she died.
How in the world did it get here?
Herman Gleib was in her room. He had that crucifix in his hands. And Herman was here today.
Maybe here now, for all we know.
Who is it? Oh,
How is she?
she's had a real shock this time, but she'll be all right. I'm putting her to bed.
Leave her there. Don't let her out of this room. And don't you leave it either.
Why, what do you mean?
It looks as if Herman Gleib is the killer after all. It's possible he may be hiding here in the castle.
Why, what makes you think so?
I'll tell you later. Stay in your room and keep your door locked.
Don't worry about that.
I heard every word he said, and I don't think there's any use of them searching for Herman. They should look for a dog, a human-faced dog.
Auntie, the doors and windows are all locked. There's nothing to be afraid of now.
Who said I was afraid? I'm not a bit afraid.
No, of course you're not afraid, but you must get some rest.
Rest in this awful place? With dog-faced Hermans and human-faced bats and blood and murders and vampires.
Find anything, Carl?
There's an unbroken cobweb in that window. If Herman did it, he came through the door.
He must have. And yet I don't understand how he could find his way up here without us hearing him. Yet Emil was asleep, and I was in the library. Yes, he could have done it. The facts all point to it. What was it, Emil?
The Burgermeister. He has news for Herr Brettschneider about Herman.
Oh.
Pardon the intrusion, Doctor. Pardon the intrusion. I knew Carl was here, and I thought you wouldn't mind if I ran in to tell him the news.
About Herman?
Yes. He fell into the Devil's Well in the cave.
He's dead?
Dead as a doornail.
This ends our troubles, Carl. The vampire's dead. I can feel it in my bones.
Well, your bones may be wrong. What time did this happen?
Quite early, about 9 o'clock. The cave is nearly 2 hours from here. That's why we didn't hear it sooner.
Well, it may interest you to know that there's been another death after your vampire died.
Who?
Dr. von Niemann's housekeeper. Right here in her own room.
Mother of mercy. What are we going to do?
Well, a natural death wouldn't kill a vampire, Carl. You know the accepted theory. A stake driven through the heart.
Oh, yes, that's the theory, all right.
But...
What?
But they did. They drove a stake through his heart.
Good God, are we living in the Middle Ages?
It wasn't through my sanction, Carl. Basawa did it. He told me so himself.
Well, that ends the vampire theory as far as I'm concerned. Herman Gleib died in the accepted fashion for killing a vampire. Oh, no, there's some human agency at work here, Doctor. A madman who kills to satisfy some violent, sadistic urge.
Yes, you're right, Carl. I've been a fool, a superstitious fool.
Did they leave his body in the cave?
Yes. Yes, they did.
Well, in view of what's happened, don't you think you owe him a decent burial?
You're right. In view of what has happened, we do owe him that, Carl. I'll see to it at once, this very instant. And I'll make arrangements for Georgiana's removal to the morgue. Good night, Doctor. Pardon the intrusion.
Good night, Gustav.
Pardon the intrusion.
Well, here I am, just where I started weeks ago. There isn't a single theory that doesn't lead straight into a stone wall. I've jested about this vampire business because my better judgment told me it was a lot of nonsense. Then I reached the point where I was willing to accept even that, because it seemed to satisfy the equation.
All of us are a bit superstitious.
I don't know which way to turn, where to look, what to look for. Why should anyone want human blood? Why?
Calm yourself, Carl.
Calm myself? With all these unsolved murders staring me in the face and no solution in sight? How much blood is there in the human body, Doctor?
About 6 liters, approximately.
Can you think of any purpose for which that amount of blood might be used?
No. Not even in transfusions.
That's the point which stops me. There isn't any other use for human blood. Murderers leave clues. And these atrocities are murders, Doctor. Those simple fools in the village can believe what they like, but you and I are sane, thinking people. And you know and I know, Doctor, that these are murders. The last one was done here. In this very house, right under this roof. All right, I'll start here. I'm going over every foot of this place, both inside and out. Nobody, sane or insane, is clever enough to get away with murder without leaving a clue of some sort. And I'm going to find that clue.
Come, Carl. You mustn't let your nerves run away with you. Here. These will help to give you a good night's sleep. If there are any clues, they'll be here in the morning when your nerves are calm and your mind is clear. Take my advice and go home and rest.
I imagined 1,000 demons were after me as I came down those stairs.
Ruth, didn't I tell you to stay in your room?
Yes, but I wanted the doctor to come up and quiet Auntie. You know, it isn't her imagination this time.
Of course, Ruth, I'll come right away. Take my advice, young man. Go home and go to bed.
Good night, Carl.
Good night, Ruth.
Good night, Carl.
Good night, Doctor.
his lights are on, you must wait, Emil. Wait until he has gone to bed. Handle him as you did the others, Emil. You are strong. Very strong. I am waiting for you. Waiting for you to bring him to the laboratory.
You're the one. What mad thing are you doing?
Mad? Is one who has solved the secret of life to be considered mad? Life, created in the laboratory. No mere crystalline growth, but tissue. Living, growing tissue. Life that moves, pulsates, and demands food for its continued growth. Huh. You shudder in horror. So did I the first time. But what are a few lives be weighed in the balance against the achievement of biological science? Think of it. I have lifted the veil. I have created life. Wrested the secret of life from life. Now do you understand? From the lives of those who have gone before, I have created life.
I'll tell Carl.
You may. For tonight, Carl's name will be added to yours. And all of those whom this achievement will immortalize.
I didn't take your sleeping tablets, Doctor.
Emil brought them here. He's the one who murdered them.
Stay where you are. You'll have a chance to tell everything, Doctor.
I'll take care of von Niemann. Get her out of here.
You stay here. Von Niemann and Emil.
Dr. Von Niemann.
Carl, she mustn't see them.
Where is Dr. Van Nieuwen? I must see him immediately.
Aunt Gussie, you can't. He can't be disturbed.
Oh, but I must see him. I simply must. And that hydrous magnesium sulfate he gave me is affecting me most peculiarly. You'll pardon me?
Hydrous magnesium sulfate. Well, that's Epsom salts.